Hello everybody, welcome again to my YouTube channel. Oh my god, you can see from this video, I can tell you it is pretty hot, and they usually say dawa ya moto ni moto. Whenever it's hot, take it hot. So right now I'm at a place called Portraits right here in Mombasa. To my back, that is all the way to Mombasa County, and to the other side, that is all the way to the SGR and the Dongo Kundu. So what I've been doing, I've been trying to, or rather we have been offloading a luggage all the way from Nairobi using this lorry, and we are going to use the Dongo Kundu Bypass all the way to Ukunda. So what I want us to do, let us see how many minutes we are going to take from this side. This is Portraits all the way to Ukunda. That I'm so excited just to have my luggage all the way from Nairobi using this lorry. So guys, let us do this. Let us go all the way to Ukunda, okay? So this is the video that I have always admired to do, like just have a ride all the way from this side of Mombasa, the Miritini area, the Portraits area, or rather the SGR area, or rather the Mombasa Port area, going through the phase 1 of the Dongo Kundu Highway, phase 2 and phase 3, all the way into Ukunda, Kwale County. So in today's video, I just hope you're going to accompany me because there's a lot of sightseeing you're going to view along this road. Quite a beautiful place. Remember, Dongo Kundu itself was constructed under the previous government, okay, right here in Mombasa, or rather the coastal Kenya. And these are some of the things you need to know about the Dongo Kundu bypass. You know, for one person will be like, okay, why Dongo Kundu? Dongo Kundu, actually, it's a Kiswahili word, or rather a Swahili word to mean that is a red soil. Yeah, so the Dongo, that means that is the soil. Kundu, it's the red. So Dongo Kundu bypass. I think there's a lot of red soil on this side. That is why they decided to name the area that name, the Dongo Kundu. So the first one of this project, which is 11 kilometers, it is between the Mombasa port and the Miritini area. Remember Miritini, that is where we got our SGR that plies Mombasa, Nairobi. So if you've never used our SGR, you need to make a point of using the SGR, okay, the standard gauge railway. Although Tanzania, can say Tanzania is quite ahead because Tanzania are using the electric train, but we will get there at some point. So that was the phase 1, and then we got our phase 2. And then the phase 2, remember, it connects Mombasa Mainland West to Mombasa Mainland South without entering Mombasa Island. This is where you're going to find all the exchanges on. This is where you're going to find all the interchanges. This is where you're going to find This is where you're going to find all the exchanges. This is where you're going to find the interchanges that is going to lead you to the southern coast. This is, let's say, if you're coming all the way from Nairobi, you do not have to go into the mainland. In fact, you're not going even to cross the Makopa Bridge. Yeah, that is where we have the phase 2. And then another reason to have this road, it is just a way to decongest Mombasa to Nairobi highway. Because I remember sometime there used to be a lot of traffic around that area. Now, someone tell me the reason to have this shelter here. You know, I really don't understand up to today. So as we were driving, I asked the driver, why have all this? Because sometimes I asked the engineers in the house what could be the reason. And they were like, because we have an airport on the left side of it. So this one is not going to confuse the pilot. And I'm like, wait, the pilot uses the Google map. So there's no way this person is going to land on a road. How many roads are here? So according to me, I'm like, the issue of telling me the pilot might confuse the runway, this road, I'm like, no, they use the Google map. They're trained to strictly use the Google map. unless it is something different. And then someone was like, in case of security for the passengers in the sky. And I'm like, okay, what if what is that all about? Just to prevent that person, the bad person, to aim at the flight above. And I was like, okay, now that is enough. So if you really know the reason why it is here. Okay, anyway, I think the airport part of it, it's a reason, but just to have the security part of it, and also to ensure the pilot doesn't land on the road. Okay, let me know which is which. Which is which? Now you can see that is the SGR all the way to the port. I think for most of us who've used the SGR, sometimes you reach at a point and you see a luggage train has parked somewhere that is going to the port. That is what they use, all the way from Miritini to the port area. Now, this is one of the projects that really cost the government a lot of money. To a tune of shillings, 30 billion? Yeah. But it is quite a good thing. This is just to decongest the Nairobi-Mombasa Highway. Okay, remember there's the other side of Jomvu also. If you're going to Nairobi, you can use the other side of Jomvu, which can still join you to the Mombasa-Nairobi Highway. So it is quite something good, and also this is as a way to provide an alternative to the Likoni channel. How many of you have used the Likoni channel? Do you like it? Personally, I do not like it. There's just so many people. We are just too many, and then you're just fighting. We are just running to cross the ferry, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't like it. So this is just a good alternative. I'm so sure after some time, we are going to have public service vehicles plying this side into Ukunda and back. Yeah, at an extra cost. So it is a good thing, because sometimes the Likoni, sometimes they get stuck. Sometimes there's an accident. Sometimes there's just an incident. Sometimes you just like, oh my God, the wind is blowing too much. And I'm like, Nana, I don't like it. So as we continue to ride, remember in this drive, we are going at a speed of 50? Yeah, 50 kilometers, because you can see the type of vehicle I'm using. If I was the one driving, I could be cruising at 80, 90, 80, 90, 80, 90 there. I really don't like doing 100. I feel sometimes like the car is flying. So I like to do 70, 80, 90 maximum for me. So we continue with the ride. And remember, as I said, we are going all the way to Ukunda. Welcome to Dongo Kundu Bypass. Now, this is at the Mwache Junction. You know, we got some names along this road and you're like, okay, what is Mwache? What is Mteza? Those are just the names in this region. Now you realize that this place is not yet finished. So it is not fully operational. We are using now the right part of it. This is a lane that is supposed to be used by cars coming from the other side, but we've been directed to use this road, and as we continue to ride along, oh my God, I just love the view. And then you can tell someone is actually putting up a house, that is a hotel. You can see some makuti to your right. Now this is how it looks like. We got the street lights, we got the markings, because I know sometimes our roads here in Kenya, sometimes I just don't know what happens to it. Sometimes the markings are just not there. And you're like, okay, where do you go to? For some of us who got some eye problems, sometimes you are driving and you really don't know how to keep to your space because there's no signage to show you this is where you're supposed to be. By the end of the day, you realize that is when you cause multiple accidents. So this is Dongo Kundu, yeah, and we are using the other side of the lane. We are actually supposed to be on the other side. So this is the Mwache Bridge, you can tell. You can see how it looks like. We just passed the Mwache Bridge. That is how it looks like. Quite something. And then remember, right ahead, we are going to experience the Muteza Bridge, which is a bit longer than these. You can even, you'll be able to see it. It looks pretty nice. So this is the phase 2 of this project from Mwache Junction all the way to Muteza. Yeah, I'm going to show you where Muteza is. You're even going to see there's a signage somewhere that tells you now right ahead that is Muteza Bridge. So we continue with the ride. And I'm so sure there's some speed limit along this road. You're not just supposed to cruise like you don't care. You really need to really be careful because you see when you are using the other side of the road, you do not know who is coming from the other side. So you don't really have to go at a high speed. So this is in Mombasa County, and this is the road that I told you it connects. It connects Mombasa Mainland to the, to the south without having to enter Mombasa Island. Or rather, if you are on the island and if you do not want to do the ferry, you can just go back to Changamwe and do this road. And as I said from the beginning, we need to know how many minutes we are going to take into Ukunda. Remember, I'm using a truck, which it's going at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour. Okay, you can leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this road. Let me know what you think about the developments that are going on in Mombasa. Remember, word has it that somewhere near the ferry, the government is also going to construct a road that is a bridge that is going to use electricity. That is a plan that was there some time back. And also remember, we used to have a footbridge that was the operations stopped. They say it was interfering with the port services, the ferry movement along that area. So guys just have to use the Likoni ferry, just have to cross using the ferry. That is why there's no more footbridge. But word on the street has it that the government is planning to construct a bridge, a road that is going to else electricity. Let us see, let us wait and see, because these are some of the projects that were there during the previous governments. Now let us see what this government, the Kenya Kwanza government, is going to come up with. So you can tell from the view, it is quite a good place. And also remember, some of the things that led to the delay of having this road completed is the issue of compensation. Sometimes it just becomes a bit of a delay to compensate people, to request them to move or rather to leave where they've known to be their home, asking them to go. Sometimes they're not ready for the money you are offering. And that is why sometimes there's usually a delay. So this is the Dongo Kundu. I usually get excited when I see good developments that are happening. But remember one thing, I know all of us know this. Having a road, a good road, it's so crucial. Having a good road, it is just crucial. It makes the whole area develop. And give it 5 years, give it 10 years, this place is going to change. We are going to have, let's say, gas stations or petrol stations. We're going to have hotels around here. We're going to have many things, many developments around this area. So this is a good thing. I hope it has been done nicely to last quite a long time. As I said, as you remember to cruise along this road, the view itself, the view itself is just good. It is just something to be proud of. And you can tell there are not so many cars. Some people just prefer to use the ferry because sometimes it depends where you're going to, into the CBD, Mombasa town. Because sometimes you are like, okay, you don't have to use this road if you're just going to, let's say you're going to go to Naivas Likoni, or you're going to go to the governor's office, which is closer to the ferry, or to Mama Ngina. Yeah, sometimes you just have to pay a fee if you are driving. But for people who are just crossing using the ferry, pedestrians, it is a free service. I remember sometimes somebody came up with an idea that guys crossing use the ferry should pay. What? Hey. Do you remember that? That guys using the ferry are supposed to pay like even 50 shillings. Oh my God. You know, it is a good thing, but just imagine how many people are there. How are you going to control that crowd? Because that crowd sometimes is just too much. How do you control it? What mechanism is going to ensure that when they pay, it is successful? We're just about to finish the phase 2 of the Dongo Kundu Bypass right here in Mombasa County and getting to the phase 3 of the Dongo Kundu, which is 6.9 kilometers. This is from the Mteza Bridge or Mteza area all the way to Kibundani. Now, one thing I have noticed along this road, we got about 2 viewpoints, and also we got, I think, 2 U-turns, and I haven't seen a footpath. Maybe it's gonna be constructed some time in the near future. And some of the houses you can see on the other side, I was being told these are some of the people who are compensated, some of the people who are requested to pave way for the construction of this road. Now, this is where the Mteza Bridge starts. This is the Mteza Bridge that is going to take us all the way to Kibundani interchange. Some of Mombasa names, I tell you, Kibundani. You ask somebody Kibundani and you're like, okay, let's say for someone who's coming from western part of Kenya, they'll be like, what is Kibundani? But anyway, that is just a name for this region. So we're going to drive all the way to Ukunda, that is in Kwale County, and you can tell guys are cruising on this road. You can even just see. There are some guys, some motorists are coming all the way from the airport. Others are coming from Nairobi. Others are just running their errands. It is just a beautiful ride along this road. So you should try it. Avoid the Likoni ferry. Let us give some space to that guy. But there's one thing. I don't know if I'm the only one. If I'm the only one who notices this. Sometimes you can see the ferry, it's so full. It's so packed. Let's say you are going all the way to Ukunda or Kombani and you need to get into a matatu. You know, the many people who cross the ferry, some of them just disappear around Likoni. And you're like, those many people, they rely on the ferry. Oh, God. I'm so sure if you have to drive along this road at night, it is also beautiful because we have enough street lights per se, especially where the bridges are located. It is just a nice view. But when I drive along this road and I do compare the bridge, like the Tanzanite bridge in Tanzania, I was like, hi, the Tanzanite, by the way, you know, those guys had to beautify that place. It's not just done like just a flat way, a flatty thing. It is something that attracts tourists. Everybody, most of the people who are going to Dar es Salaam, they really love to pass or rather to drive along the Tanzanite Bridge, which is quite a good view of the ocean. So this is Mteza area, right here in Mombasa, or rather the coastal region of Kenya. And some of the best time to come into Mombasa if you're that person who loves to sweat a lot and drink in a lot of water and take in a lot of fruits. This is the time we are sweating like no one's business. You sweat until the following day you're having a serious headache. That is when you realize, you need to take in some water. So we continue with the drive, or rather with the ride. I just thought I should do this video so that you'll be able to connect. I know some people who are abroad, they've never been onto this road, but they're like, how does it look like? Okay, we've done several videos. I've done a video of this road, but I didn't get into Ukunda. But this time I am going to take you all the way to Ukunda. Just imagine. Wow. And then another name that really excites me, that is somewhere we are going to see. There's a roundabout ahead. That is the roundabout, or rather the junction. That is if you're going to go back to Likoni, or rather if you're going to go to Diani. There's a place commonly known as, how do they call it? Why am I forgetting the name? I'm forgetting the name. But by the end of the day, I know it is like someone was beaten somewhere there so bad. Am I forgetting the name? Oh my God. I got it. The place is called Shikadabu. Even there's a school there, a primary school called Shikadabu. And I was like, okay, why have the name Shikadabu? Is it that somebody there was badly given some punishment? Shikadabu. And I'm like, okay, could that be the reason? And I'm like, okay, you never know. You never get some real exact answers to such questions, because these are the names that came up quite a long time. So we got a place called Shikadabu, Kibundani. Coastal names. So you can see these are houses. They look newly houses. And some of them are from, they're for the guys that were compensated, the guys who just paved way for this project, which is a good thing anyway. Because an area cannot be developed without having a proper road. Like right now, someone can just decide to drive all the way from Busia border without having to cross the Likoni ferry into Lunga into Tanzania. Remember, this is a road that is going to connect you all the way to Tanzania via Lunga. So when we say having a good road, it's something of importance. And in fact, when you drive along this road, you're going to experience, or rather come across, Tanzanian cars, number plates. You're just going to tell, oh, this is a Tanzanian number plate. So it is quite a major road along this area. You can tell this road is not fully done. You can even see we got some construction that is still going on. And that one tells you when cruising along this road, you should really consider the speed you are going at, because you just never know. But I'm just hoping that we are going to have some gas stations around this area, because you never know. That shit can happen to anyone. Look at that car, the red one. The guy is crazy. Like we just stopped. Like we are parked somewhere, we are not moving. Ah, God. That is the beauty of driving on this road. Now, it is not that busy as of now. Remember, when you cross at the ferry with a car, you have to pay. For a smaller car, like the one that just passed, you're going to pay, let's say 120 Kenya shillings. Approximately, let me just say $1. Yeah. $1. That is what you're going to pay to cross the ferry for that small car. For heavy cars, I have got no idea. But for $1 or 120 Kenya shillings, that is what you're going to pay for a smaller car. So I remember sometime back when this road was being constructed, I remember I was somewhere at Kibundani, and I really wanted, I thought it was just somewhere near. I asked about a guy how close it is to get to the Mteza Bridge, and the guy was like, It is far. It is a bit far, now I can tell. From the Mteza Bridge itself, it is 6.9 kilometers all the way to Kibundani Interchange. Look at that view. Where you can even see Mombasa Island from this other side. You can even see where we are coming from this side of the road. It is quite interesting, huh? And then I just like the way they've separated the road here. You can see there's grass in between. And remember, this road is still under construction. That is why we are using this other side of the road. But when everything is done and dusted, we are supposed to be on to the left, to the far left. And I remember the last time I did a video around this area, we didn't have many houses. There were just a few. Something I noticed, we are having borders, the car that just passed, Probox. They're carrying people around this area, and I noticed they are full. You remember that Katabia, that thing in Kericho? They feel people are seated in a boot, in a car boot. Yeah, I've noticed that is happening here. Okay, not many of them, but at least I saw a Probox carrying so many people. Now, this is Kibundani Interchange. There's a roundabout right ahead. That is where you're going to find some cows just lying there. And I was like, okay, are those cows or what? Someone was telling me those are not just cows. Those are human beings in in a cow's body. And I'm like, how possible is that? And the coast itself has many tales to tell. So to the far left, where that tuk-tuk goes to, that is all the way to Likoni, to the ferry. But that is not where we're going to. You can see there's a roundabout here, an overpass that was under construction some time back. Now we are going to go all the way to Ukunda. Look at those cows. Someone was telling me, never knock the cows. You may just go home and you want to rest and you hear somebody ask you now, why did you knock me? Mbona ukanigonga? Or even never knock a cat. And I'm like, you just get at home and you're like, you hear a voice. Why did you kick me out? just made a turn at the Kibundani interchange. Now this is a major road. This is going to take you all the way to Lunga Lunga into Tanzania. Now when you get to the border of Tanzania, that is where you can decide where you're going to. Or maybe you booked a bus all the way to Dar es Salaam. This road is going to take you. And in fact, you can still use, there's another road if you're coming from Nairobi, you can use the Namanga road. But if you are this side of the coast region, you use the Lunga Lunga. You can still get to Arusha using this road. You can still go to Tanga, to Bagamoyo using this road. And even crossing over Tanzania to other African countries. So whatever you're seeing, this is a major road in this country called Kenya. This country called Kenya. I like the nature around this area, the green. I'm just hoping that in the coming years, people are not going to cut many of the trees in the name of constructing houses, in the name of constructing hotels, in the name of constructing ABCD. I'm just hoping that the place is going to remain green the way it is. So this is the Likoni Lunga Lunga Highway, and the road is quite slim. So while driving along this road, you also need to be careful. It is not as wide as some areas are, but it is what it is. I like today, the sun is out, it is bright, it is not rainy. Because in Mombasa, we are used to just having the hot weather and all that. So when it drizzles a bit, not even when it rains, when it drizzles a bit and then we got this cold, we are like, no. Like for somebody who's been in coast region for quite some time, these people, you take them to Mombasa, to Nairobi, let's say, or to Western region, or somewhere away from the coastal region. They're like, my friend, just take me back to the coastal region. Because they're used to this heat, and any slight cold, it is going to affect us. Yeah, I'm one of them. It is going to affect us bad. That is why we do not like to move out of this area. We're used to our heat. We're used to having the heat rushes. We are used to drinking too much water. But it's not for everybody. Not everybody loves drinking water, but it is good. It can dehydrate you, especially such a time like now. You just need to take in quite a lot. So this is in Kwale County, one of the counties right here in Kenya. And if you're planning for a trip to the coastal region, remember Kiswahili is highly spoken in this region. So if you do not understand one or two, remember to learn at least a few words in Kiswahili, like when you say habari, or rather when you want to say hello in Kiswahili, hello, you can say habari yako. How are you? Habari yako. Yeah, that is a free lesson. How are you? Habari yako. And then someone will be like, Neko salama, or whatever way they can reply, as long as it's Kiswahili. Jambo, it's like hi. Jambo, it's like hi. So I'm giving you some free Swahili lessons. And I remember sometime back in one of my videos, I was like, okay, how did the name Mombasa come about? And some guys were telling me different opinions. They were like, okay, this place, it didn't have a name, so Mwambaje. Mwambaje is like, how are you doing? So Mwambaje. So when this white man came in, was unable to pronounce Mwambaje. So this guy was Mambaje, Mombasa, Mambaje, Mombasa, something like that. And then it got corrupted, and that is how Mombasa name came up. And I'm like, okay, fine. Still a good name. So if you're coming to Africa, specifically East Africa, remember to know at least one or two words. At least you can borrow some water, or you can ask for direction using Swahili. And this one can help you from anybody not trying to get some money using a funny way. out of your pocket. Okay, you know, we got so many of these people everywhere, so it is always just good to know at least a language to borrow water when you come to Africa, when you go to another country, at least you know 1 or 2 words. So welcome to Kombani Junction along the Likoni Lunga Highway. That is the road that is going to take you to Kwale Town, where you go to the county government offices. And from here, getting into Ukunda, it isn't very far. You're going to tell from this video, it is not that far. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know what you say about this region. Is it a place that is going to grow? Should we expect much developments or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I just like the white and blue sky where we are going to nature. It is so amazing. And if this has been your first time to bump into this channel, kindly consider to subscribe, like, and also share this video. Share to your people, share to your friends, let them know how Kwale County looks like. For quite some time, or rather several videos, I have focused on Kwale County because sometimes you might just want to come into this region and you really want to know how the place looks like. And when you watch the video, you just find 2 or 3 minutes of Kwale and you're like, okay, is that all? But this time I decided to, at least to get some time and just go around Kwale. I haven't finished Kwale, but at least I've done Kwale Town, I've done Kombani Kwale Town, I've done, let's say, the Ukunda to the beach side of it, the Congo River. Yeah, we got Congo River right here in Kenya, but not for the Congo as a country. We got the Congo River. So let me know what you think. Is this area going to experience a boom in terms of construction? Because we usually say road is quite important. So we have a road here. Do we expect much? Or we just expect less from this area? So remember, if you're planning for a trip into the coastal region, so many people have to come to, also to Kwale. We got some nice hotspots around this area. You can do the scuba diving, sailing, snorkeling, all that, the entertainment options, they're all right here. We got the Wasini Island, we got the Shimba Hills, you can go there. You can just take a road trip, even enjoying the heat, or rather the warm weather in this region. It is just a tour of its own. So Kwale County, it's part of the 6 counties right here in the coastal region. We got Mombasa, Kwale, Kilifi, Tana River, we got Lamu, and Taita Taveta. And when it comes to transportation, we got also different modes of travel. You can use a taxi. That one you order online. You can take a one-on-one taxi. That one you do not have to book online. We got tuk-tuks, the one that uses 3 wheels. It's ridden on 3 wheels. You can use a boda. You can use a matatu. Tanzanians call it daladala. Those are some of the modes of transport within, that is on ground, within Kwale County, rather the coastal region. You can fly into this place using the Diani Airport. You can still go to, let me just mention Malindi Airport. And then we got Mombasa Airport. So you have all these options. Even flying to Arusha, from Mombasa, you can still fly to Arusha. So we got all the options. So coming to this region, it is quite something nice. You can cruise, you can ride along, go on several trips. If you want to go into Tanzania, then you got that option. You got the road. You can fly into Tanzania. Yeah, it is quite a good thing. So we're still cruising along the Likoni-Lunga Highway. Just imagine at the Likoni ferry having 6,000 vehicles daily crossing that place. Isn't that a huge number? And then having approximately 350,000 passengers daily? What? That is quite a huge number. And that is why we're having an alternative. We have the Dongo Kundu, so if you do not have to go through the hassles and bustles of the Likoni channel, you just have to use the Southern Bypass, which is a good thing. Sometime back, I think, Mombasa was left behind when it comes to construction, but right now, the coastal region is just something else. Go to the northern coast. That is the Mombasa Mainland Highway. The road is still under construction. And I'm quite sure when all is done and dusted, it is just going to be a superb one. Because if you're not going to stop anywhere, you're just going to pick on your lane, like the Thika Superhighway. You go all the way to Watamu, you go all the way to Malindi, to Lamu. If you have to drop off somewhere, then we got the service lanes. So Mombasa is changing, and it's changing for the better. I like the developments that is going on in this region. And I'm quite sure after some time, this place is going to be a place many people are going to admire to stay. In fact, like right now, sometime back when I was going around looking for a house to rent, I could talk with some of the caretakers and they could tell you many people are looking for houses to rent in Diani, in Ukunda. And that one tells you something. Many people are moving into this area. Many people are now choosing to come stay this area because now we got an alternative. You do not just have to go through the ferry. You have that alternative of the Dongo Kundu Bypass getting into town, and I'm so sure after some time you are going to have matatus from this side just using the Dongo Kundu SGR into Changamwe into town without having to cross the ferry, because there are just some people who just hate the water. They fear the water. They will not dare step on that ferry. Are you one of them? Let me know in the comment section below if you are one of those people who just fear crossing the ferry. Let me know what you say. And then the huge trees, the huge mango trees. Wow. All right. Anyway, at this point, I just have to say, welcome to Ukunda. And sometimes I usually say, this place, something needs to happen. This place needs to look beautiful. So for that person who's paid to go into a beach hotel, the luxurious hotel, the ambience there, it's so cool. You need to at least get into a cool environment, something that is going to attract visitors from outside, not what I'm seeing. The Kwale County government, are you doing something about this region? Apart from the Kasongo, Mbonaweo, the beautification you put around here. Yeah, so this is, they usually say it's called Corner Beach. It is going to take you all the way to the beach, to Diani Beach. Okay? So thank you so much for watching this video. If this is your first time to bump into this channel, kindly consider to subscribe, like, and also share this video. This is where we come to an end of our today's video. How many minutes? Again? 52, 53 minutes? Yeah, that is what we took.